All right, Tyler Perry fans, that was just a little snippet of the entire speech that Tyler Perry gave at the BET Awards last night. If you go to BET's YouTube channel, they have so many clips from the performances and the presenters and their awards, and there was just so much to take in from the Tyler Perry segment that I definitely recommend. They had a video with like Whoopi Goldberg, Tiffany Haddish, um, Cicely Tyson, and other people just talking about what Tyler Perry has given to like the black community in regards to opportunities to act when no one else is giving them work, and just so many different things. It was such a amazing just to sit back for like 2 or 3 minutes and kind of take in everything that Tyler Perry has been able to accomplish, from living in his car to trying to get his first plays to actually go somewhere to making movies, and what the Medea franchise grossing over like $2 billion and whatnot, and the television shows and all the stuff that's yet to come. And the money and everything, but just like what he's contributed to black culture, uh, is just amazing. So regardless as to whether or not you're a fan of Tyler Perry content, that's one thing, but you can't knock the man's work ethic. That's one thing you can't do, and he opens doors too. So I'm just impressed, just overwhelmingly impressed. But there were just a couple things I wanted to talk about in this video. Like at first I was going to do a full dissection of the speech, but some of the things he was mentioning, like getting inspired for his current story, well, his stories and plays and whatnot from his time with his mother, and listening to teachers. When I say teachers, I mean like older black women in his life when he was a child, his mother's friends, aunts, family members, walking to school, passing by pimps, and cross through the graveyard and everything like that, and then helping an old man across the street, just things like that, which all contributed to his storytelling, which we've heard in other interviews and whatnot. So I really wanted to stick with the main points of the speech. During the tribute video segment, I think he mentioned something that, I'm really looking at the Twitter highlights here, when he said like it doesn't matter how much money you make, work like you're still broke. Like work like you're broke. And that actually resonated. But I mean, heck, you can still work like you're broke and still be broke, because not because you misuse your funds, but bills eat everything up. So that's that's a reality. But he definitely left some gems of knowledge last night, which is very good, because of the fact that I think that's what I love about the award shows like this on Sunday night, because it really rejuvenates your spirit for another week. Church in the morning, and then you get a little taste of something like this at night. And then he really just drove it in at the end. Own. And I love how he mentioned own, because I'm just like, not the television network, but own your stuff, own your business, own your way. Just some good stuff there. And then I love the bit where he talked about the Oscars so white, people talking like that. He's like, while others were waiting for a seat at the table, I was building my own, and knew God would prepare my table for me in the presence of my enemies. It was just so many gems like that through the whole speech. And like I said, like even if you're Tyler Perry has a seat for us at his table in terms of being consumers of his content, you might not enjoy what's on the plate that he's serving, but at the end of the day, what, you have to be impressed by the man doing it all, and that's pretty good. That's pretty dang good. um I'm actually just looking through Twitter as I'm doing this video, and there are just so many great tweets. To keep on succeeding, you got to work like you're broke. Work like you're broke. I don't care how much money you have. Work like you're broke. There are just so many things to take away. And then, of course, I think one of the biggest things is where he mentioned, the story of how the Tyler Perry Studios is built on like land that used to be like the headquarters of a Confederate, camp and whatnot. Pretty much, people who wanted to keep 3.9 million black people in slavery, yet now Negroes in slavery. Now it's owned by one Negro, and that was the part that had everyone up on their feet applauding. That was amazing. I mean, say what you want about the redundancies of movies and television shows, but Tyler Perry knows how to give one heck of a speech. And and what I love about this is a lot of people, like Tyler Perry opened the doors to the church on the BET Awards, and I really want to know that stop fighting for a seat at the table and build your own, then watch how God will prepare it in the front of your enemies. I know like Taraji P. Henson was like, I'm always going to be in this corner because Tyler Perry was the first person to pay me what I was worth. And, Idris Elba, Whoopi Goldberg, just various other black celebrities who weren't getting roles and whatnot, yet they were in Tyler Perry's work. Like literally Daddy's Little Girls. If you look at the years for when some of these movies came out, it's insane because Tyler Perry Studios like really rejuvenated some people's careers or set some people on their way because, they weren't being hired. I know this is a weird comparison, but I remember, watching interviews like on Vlad TV and whatnot with like Godfrey and other people who have worked with Kevin Hart in the past, specifically like Soul Plane. That's why Soul Plane had so many famous, black celebrities, whether it be musicians or, actors and everything else in between, because at that given point in time, they weren't getting any work. So they, he opened some doors if we had more Tyler Perry's and Kevin Hart's opening doors, there will be way more black people in the industry. That's what I'm saying. So regardless of whether or not you love the content, like the content, hate the content, the man opens doors. And then I think my personal favorite line is like, I'd rather than be an icon, I want to be an inspiration. And that's one thing I really drive home in my videos. Like, it's flattering when people are like, yo, Tyler Perry should hire you and whatnot and this and that. And that's awesome. But, I think I mentioned a couple weeks ago in that video, if I could ask Tyler Perry one question, what would it be? And, I actually opened up about how I was kind of jealous of other people who have gotten to meet him and whatnot, doing YouTube or just, happen to be at the right place or right time. But I couldn't be that guy because, we all run our own race, and Tyler Perry has inspired people in their own way. Well, yeah, they've all been inspired in different ways by his work. For me, like, I don't know how long the channel is going to be going. I don't know what the channel is going to look like in a couple of years, if I'll still be doing this full time, if I'll be doing something else. But there's always going to be that chapter of my life where I've spent, 2+ years talking about Tyler Perry content. Well, technically 3+ if you want to count my blogging years and other, even Twitter, like it all started from that. Like, he truly has been an inspiration. And Tyler Perry is like one of, many successful black people in the industry, whether it be entertainment, social media, comedy, whatever the situation may be. Like, Kev on Stage, definitely one of my other favorite black inspirations when it comes from just a normal guy taking his craft, working at it, building up an audience and going on the road and just, doing various things. So that's very impressive. But for Tyler Perry, it's like, I grew up on his plays and whatnot. So to actually evolve from the plays to like House of Pain to where we are now with the haves and the have-nots and more dramas on the way, definitely impressed. This award was well deserved. And like I said before, like, I could have done a full breakdown of the full speech, but I think that I really covered the points I wanted to make because he built his own, like, the fact that you can just sit, and that's one lesson I learned, from my call center days, talking with students for like 3 years. It's like, you can sit here and complain about something, or you can work towards, either fixing the problem or coming up with an entirely new solution on your own. And that's kind of what I did there. I was sitting, I don't want to say sitting at the table of my enemies, but I was sitting at someone's table and I felt like, I was the one washing the dishes and serving the food while they were the ones raking in, they were reaping the harvest while I was being, just paid in weeds, not the drugs, but, just weeds in general. Like, they're getting the flowers, I'm getting like the weeds and the, the vines with the thorns. I'm not really getting anything to show my work, like, I'm not showing anything that I've been gaining from working at someone else's table. So I decided to leave that job, do this YouTube channel, and then create my own. Like, technically, I'm still reviewing someone else's work, but it's more like a freelance kind of thing where I'm just a full-time YouTuber who's a fan reviewing Tyler Perry stuff. So in a way, that's definitely inspired me. So yeah, everybody has their own inspirational story to tell from Tyler Perry. Like, even if you don't like his stuff, it's like, what? Well, that inspired me to, write my own content. Like, even though I don't like how he does certain things, he's doing his thing. And that's the thing, like I mentioned a couple times already, even if you aren't like a big fan, you can't knock the man's work ethic. I feel the same thing about Kevin Hart. Like, his last couple stand-ups, like, let me explain. No, not that one. I love that one. Excuse me. What now, or what's next? And then the more recent one, like the Irresponsible Tour. Not a big fan of either of those stand-ups. But at the same time, it's like the man just doesn't stop working. Yeah, there's some personal life stuff that controversy happened, but in terms of the man and his work ethic, giving opportunities to other it's just, you cannot knock. I will not knock a person for that. Like, I might be a little like, not uneasy about their work that they're putting out, but at the same time, you cannot discredit them in terms of their work ethic, because it's definitely inspirational. So, Tyler Perry, if there's anybody from Tyler Perry's camp that's listening, just another congratulations for the Ultimate Icon Award. But just like he said, I'd rather be an inspiration than an icon. The award aside, just thank you for being an inspiration, like, for real. It really does. I don't even know how to explain it, like how many, and I'm only one person. There's no telling how many other people's lives he's changed by just being Tyler Perry. For example, more recently, like the whole Raquel Bailey situation with the Billboard. Just regardless of him, kind of, smacking it down, so to speak. I don't mean that in a terrible way. You just open up doors for her potential. I know she sent in the self-tape, but like I said, he put on his social media that blew up, and there's no telling how many opportunities she's going to get from that. And, there are various people who have been in Tyler Perry's camp since doing the early plays and TV shows and movies, and they've been rejuvenated into other, arenas of the media. And I mean, for me, like Crystal Fox, I remember growing up watching her on Heat of the Night. Then we have the Haves and the Have-Nots, and she's in the show Big Minds, Little Minds. It's just so many different things like that where people I haven't seen in years, they've been kind of catapulted again with Tyler Perry. I know when I was younger, like in high school, and then, going into college and whatnot, I remember House of Pain where he had Jasmine and Malik. And I felt like, Tyler Perry Studios was like a camp, where it's either a training camp for people who are new in the game, rejuvenation for people who have been out of the game for a while because they haven't been getting a lot of work, but their work with Tyler Perry kind of catapulted them to new heights. So, with, I think Jasmine and Malik are a couple of my favorites to watch, because I remember when they both were in Disney. Like Jasmine was in, and I know I'm calling by their House of Pain names, but Jasmine, he had Ant Farm, and Malik, he was on Sweet Life on Deck. Then he had his own show called something Kings of an. It was him and the white dude with red hair who can rap, Adam Hicks. It was some show, I cannot think of the name, but they were like on an island or something like that. Like they were royalty or whatever. Because I think I don't know. I know he was hot for a minute. I know he was on that show. But China Anne McClain, in the Descendants franchise, and she's on Black Lightning. And I'm really only focusing on the younger stars here because maybe in the next 10 years or so, when they get older, they can like talk about their careers. And it's like, yeah, it all really started. Our first big thing was working together on House of Pain. So it's incredible how many lives he's and Taraji P. Henson. Before there was Cookie, there was Taraji in movies like, I Can Do Bad All By Myself. And then I think the biggest one for her was Acrimony. But yeah, and that was like, last year. So Tyler Perry, man, just insane. So trust and believe, when I do that, thank you video for hitting 100,000 subscribers, there's going to be a lot of people I'm giving shout outs to. But Tyler Perry, just regardless, like whether or not between now and when the channel hits 100,000 subscribers, if I ever get hit up by Tyler Perry himself or Tyler Perry Studios, I'm still going to give them their props because they allowed me to do this channel without, taking my stuff down. It happened a couple times, but we got that straightened out. But regardless, if whether or not I hear from Tyler Perry personally through a tweet, a DM, a phone call, an email, or get to meet him in person between now and when the channel hits 100,000 subscribers, still big thanks to him for creating the Haves and Have-Nots and giving me something to legitimately care about in order to actually move forward with my life. So just thank you again for that. So with that being said, definitely check out the full speech and the acceptance if you have not done so already. It is literally very good. Let me know your thoughts on the speech. What was your greatest takeaway? And subscribe to the channel, and I'll talk to you soon.